State Farm, the biggest domestic insurer in the United States, slammed by rising theft of catalytic converters. They paid out over $50 million in the first half of 2022. It's gonna get close to doubling last year, 2021. Let's jump on into it. Let's see what the dealio is. The insurance giant has already paid out more than $50 million on the pricey auto parts so far this year. State Farm says the COVID-19 pandemic era surge in thefts of catalytic converters is only getting worse. That's not good news. By this time, just about anybody who is living on planet Earth knows somebody that's had their catalytic converter either tampered with or stolen, maybe their car stolen. One of my kids had their car stolen 2 weeks ago. Total nightmare. Just right out in front of his apartment in Seattle. Yeah, I know. I told him and his girlfriend, don't move there. Don't move to that part of Seattle. It's Queen Anne. It's a decent part of Seattle, but anywhere now. Downtown Bellevue, one of my guys working in the next room here, very nice part of downtown Bellevue, had his catalytic converter half cut off in a parked garage, in an apartment garage in downtown Bellevue. I mean, it's happening all over. And why wouldn't it? These guys can get bank for just taking a little saw and cutting off your catalytic converter on the way they go. The largest U.S. property and casualty insurance company by premiums written told Fox Business that in the first half of 2022, it's already paid out $50 million for 23,570 catalytic converters theft claims nationally. $50 million in claims in just catalytic converters. Now, to a big company like State Farm, that's probably just a drop in the bucket. But numbers-wise, this is an exponential rise in this crime, right? That means the number of thefts of the pricey auto part across the country is already on track to surpass the company's payout of $62.5 million to replace 32,265 catalytic converters from customers last year. So in the first half of 2022, we do almost as much business of stolen catalytic converters as in all of 2021. So if it seems like there's more of this activity going on in your area, it's because it probably is. Because crime does pay, right? Crime does pay. And in many jurisdictions here, especially here on the West Coast, we're just kind of letting her rip. It's okay. It's a property crime. It's not really hurting a person. That drove me crazy when the activists were saying, well, you smash out a window. That's not really a crime against, humanity. It's a business. Insurance will take care of that. Well, what do you think is going to happen to the State Farm customers? Are their premiums going to go down with all of this going on? Are they going to go down? If you get comprehensive insurance on your vehicle and you've done a claim against your catalytic converter, do you think your premium's going to drop? No, that's not how this works, right? So for instance, in the state of Illinois alone, State Farm has already paid more catalytic converter theft claims so far in 2022 than in the entire year of 2021. So Illinois, got Chicago in there, right? I wonder if there's a cause and effect there to those numbers. The company's numbers show a meteoric rise in the theft of the car part that is highly sought out by thieves, who are able to remove them from underneath the vehicle in a matter of minutes and sell them for hundreds of dollars due to the precious metals that they can contain. They can get like $1,000 or even $1,500 according to this article. So for a few minutes worth of work, crime does pay. Now, there's that whole thing. If you get caught, you could go to jail, but it's certainly not happening here, right? I mean, maybe in Bellevue it might, but that's if they catch him. And, catalytic converters don't have serial numbers on them. I know body shops are like etching people's license plate on them or etching people's VIN number. Or I saw one that said, F you, get a job, just trying to deter crime. Oh, get a job. Oh, okay. I'm going to go get a job now. I'm going to put my saw down and I'm going to go get a job. People are doing what they can, which is trying to take a pot shot at the thieves. Platinum Palladium and rhodium are metals commonly found in the auto part. Thieves can make $300 to $1,500 for selling converters for scrap, the Department of Justice said last week. In 2019, before COVID-19 began impacting the U.S., State Farm only paid out $4.6 million to replace 2,535 catalytic converters. In 2020, that number more than quadrupled to 10,265, with the company paying out $20 million for replacements. What if you're like that? What if you're a trendsetter thief and you're one of the first guys and you're like, holy cow, I can make bank doing this. And you're just out there and other guys are, what are you doing? What's that saw for? What are all those things? What are those little mini mufflers you got going on there? Oh, nothing to see here. Just carry about your business. Go ahead, keep breaking into people's houses. I'll be out here on the side of the streets, just hunkering down underneath cars. Yeah. What if you're one of those early innovators, high utilizer? Man, you're probably like, what have I come across? I can get how much for this, for how much time into it? So it doesn't surprise me that this is going on. It's just one of those epidemics of crime, isn't it? It's the right place at the right time for this to just explode. And so it has. With more than 23,000 catalytic converters stolen from just State Farm customers alone by the end of June, drivers of cars, RVs, and other vehicles need to be on the alert and expect that their ride could be targeted next. When I now leave my car somewhere other than my garage, and I lock up my garage pretty consistently now, and I live in Bellevue, which is pretty safe. When I leave my car somewhere else, I'm just, I think about getting underneath there and, I should look at the catalytic converter. But what I just do is I hit that push button electronic ignition and put my foot on the brake and my car starts up. And half the time I expect to hear just that roar rumble, which means your cat is no longer there. I half expect that. And one of these times, odds are it's probably going to happen, right? I've got a 2014 or a 2015 Jeep Grand Cherokee. I don't know. Those don't seem to be the ones that are the most taken. But it's an easy car to get under because it's kind of lifted. And yeah. So last week, owners of Toyota Priuses, Subaru Foresters, and Honda Elements are under the greatest threat of having their catalytic converters stolen. Toyota Priuses, Subaru Foresters, and Honda Elements. So the Honda Element, that's kind of the truck-ish thing, right? Toyota Priuses, just little tiny cars. Wouldn't want to get wrecked in one of those. Subaru Foresters, we've got a lot of those here in Seattle. Well, I personally don't drive one. I think they're a little questionable, but I know people love them. You see them at the trailheads all the time. I've got a Subaru Forester. Everything's green in my life. I like to hug trees. Yeah, there's that, right? So those cars, and there's a reason why that is, but yeah, I'm not going to read that. You can figure that out. So yeah, you've got just this crazy epidemic of crime going on. Why is it that all of this stuff started to explode as of the beginning of the pandemic? What was it about the pandemic? Was it people were shut down? Businesses were shut down. People were laid off. So people had to resort to crime? Or was it more like we're not really going after criminals anymore, so therefore, why wouldn't an explosion of crime happen? Or is it just this, change in psychology of, hey, we can get away with this, let's go? Because the shootings started to rise at the same time. Did I miss a memo? Did you miss a memo where, because you're not a criminal and I'm not a criminal, we're both, low utilizers as opposed to high utilizers who have a lot of time in with the criminal system? Did we miss a memo that said, you know what, guys, go to town. World's your oyster next couple of years. Got this whole COVID thing. It's a hall pass. Let's go. Did we miss a memo there? Because every crime stat that I see, and some of them are really varied, really varied. And you're just like, how does this make any sense at all? I mean, I'm not a big conspiracy guy. But one of the things that I think about is this being done on purpose? Are we being hammered on purpose? Because it kind of feels that way, doesn't it? It feels like crime is just kind of infiltrating everything that we do. Cars getting stolen. I mean, I'm reading some crazy, crazy stories about crime that I can't do on this podcast. So we just had another one get demonetized this morning. Or it's not suitable for advertisers. And I question that. Because if you're an advertiser of anything, even remotely, somewhat tinge of conservative, you're going to want to hear about this stuff because your constituents want to hear about it. Not constituents, but viewers, I guess, consumers of said podcast. They want to hear about it. So they're going to be pulled in. But I think it's the social media companies. They're like, no, we don't want to cover that. It's too tragic. No, a lot of crime there. No, we're not doing that. So there's a ton of stories that I'd love to be able to cover that I'm going to be able to very, very soon that are no longer going to be on the traditional podcast platforms because especially the video stuff, because I'm just getting hammered. And I get it. They're saying, you know what? We've got these community guidelines and they're over here and your stuff because it's reality. And unfortunately, right now, reality is not exactly pretty and it's not exactly safe. And it has a lot to do with crime. Because I cover that content, a lot of the stuff, no, not going to pay you because even though you're getting a lot of eyeballs on that stuff, that's a tragic story, or that's got to do with crime, or that is, somewhat violent. When you're reading news stories about people getting whacked in the head with metal rods until they're killed, which is what happened on the sidewalk of Seattle a couple of weeks ago. When that's going on literally in my backyard, it's one of those things. So, I get it, but very soon I'm going to be able to read those stories, not be banned, not have all that kind of that crazy drama going on. Am I going to get paid for all my hard work? I don't know. Oh no. What other dreams and hopes will I have be dashed by big social media? We're taking control of some of our content. Then you've still got the issue of whoever hosts your platform, whatever platform you might be on, whoever hosts that, they can pull the rug out from under you. And then the advertisers, you can have advertisers pull the rug out from underneath you as well. So we're working on solutions for that. And I'm not this crazy hardcore guy. There's others, entities that Salty Cracker being one. I wonder how does that guy stay on? How is he not canceled every 2.5 minutes? Because that guy goes in deep and hard on some topics that are, that people want to hear, but social media in 2022 doesn't necessarily want to expose people to. And they make it very clear by the back end analytics of what your videos are doing or what your podcasts are doing. Yeah, not so much here. Yeah, you can talk about flowers and baby deers and baby ducks, and you can talk about sports and you can talk about fashion, but anything to do with reality and crime, nope, that's tragic. That's a hard no-go. So these news stories, what happened during the pandemic? What happened to flick that switch? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. I know you will. Thanks for being here. That's it for me on this one. We'll look forward to talking with you next time. Bye for then.